When I wrote my memoir, I dedicated it to my mother, who herself when I was 12. I don't know if I was going to die, but my life would fall apart. I didn't think I'd be alive at almost 86 years old. I mean, I just need to pinch myself all the time that I'm so blessed to be healthy enough to keep working.
Jane Fonda was one of the biggest stars of the 80s. Even if you never watched her movies, there was a good chance you'd seen one of her workout tapes. Every day, people moved the coffee table out of the way, put a VHS tape into the player, and worked out with Jane right in their living rooms. For a lot of women, it was the first time exercise felt easy to do at home. But while millions of people saw Jane Fonda as the face of health and fitness, she was quietly fighting an eating disorder that almost nobody knew about. A lot of people knew her as Henry Fonda's daughter at first, but she worked hard to build a career people would remember for her own name. She studied acting, took smaller roles, and eventually became an Academy Award-winning actress. It looked like she had the kind of life most people only dreamed about. The person the world saw, though, wasn't the whole story.
My family was falling apart. My mother at that time was in and out of mental institutions.
Hearing her say that really makes you look at her differently. I mean, we usually only see celebrities after they start to become really famous. It's easy to forget they were just regular people with their own heavy issues. When she was only 12, her mother took her own life while staying at an institution, but her father didn't tell her the truth. He told her and her brother that it was a heart attack. She actually found out what really happened later on by reading a movie magazine. Imagine finding out your mother died like that from a random magazine. That's pretty messed up. And it's just heartbreaking. Because of that lie, she spent years carrying a heavy weight. I can't even fathom how crushing that felt. Think about being that young and trying to make sense of something even most adults struggle to understand. Kids do not usually have the answers, so they look for someone to blame. And a lot of the time, they end up pointing the finger at themselves. Jane admitted she carried that guilt for years, later reflecting on that pain.
When I wrote my memoir, I dedicated it to my mother, who when I was 12.
It took her decades and digging through old medical records as an adult to finally realize the situation had nothing to do with her worth and that none of it was her fault.
She suffered from, well, they called it manic depression in those days. Now we say bipolarity.
I actually have a lot of respect for Jane here. It would have been easy to spend the rest of her life angry, but instead, she tried to understand what her mother had been going through. By digging into those records, she finally got the answers she needed to realize her mother's struggles had nothing to do with her. She could finally stop blaming herself. I do not think everyone could do that. Even with all that hidden pain, Jane kept pushing forward. She maintained her spot as one of the biggest stars in the world, and to the public, it looked like she had completely left those rough years in the past. But the truth was, she hadn't. As Jane got older, another battle became part of her life. It started when she was a teenager, and it stayed with her for decades.
How many years did you suffer from bulimia?
25.
I mean, that is a large chunk of your life.
Hello.
25 years. That's longer than a lot of marriages. It's hard to even imagine carrying something that heavy for that long without most people around you knowing. Think about the reality of that. She was landing huge movie roles, walking red carpets, and being put on a pedestal as this perfect, glamorous icon, all while secretly struggling with this every single day. Looking back, she said those struggles were never really about food. For her, it was about trying to fill a deep emptiness inside.
You know, I think it's important to understand that it has nothing to do with food. It has to do with filling a hole. You know, we're vessels that need to be full.
When you hear it put that way, it makes so much sense. A lot of people assume eating disorders are just about dieting or wanting to look a certain way. But hearing her say that, you realize the food was just her trying to fix that empty feeling inside.
I didn't have a very high regard for myself, and so if anybody asked me for anything or offered me something, I didn't know how to say no.
Hearing that from someone so beautiful and so successful is eye-opening. I mean, if someone who seemingly has it all can feel that way about themselves, what about the rest of us? It just goes to show that low self-esteem does not care how much money or fame you have. But right around this time, something happened that completely changed her direction. While filming The China Syndrome, she broke her foot. At first, it probably felt like one of those annoying injuries that just throws everything off. But funny enough, if that never happened, there's a good chance we wouldn't even be talking about Jane Fonda's workout videos today. Because of the injury, Jane had to stop doing ballet, something she'd loved for years. While she was recovering, her stepmother suggested she try an aerobics class taught by a woman named Leni Cazden. Jane decided to give it a shot. And honestly, I don't think she had any idea how much that one class was about to change her life. The workout felt completely different from anything she'd done before. It mixed dance with strength and constant movement, and Jane loved it almost immediately. Before long, she and Leni opened a small workout studio together. When Leni eventually moved away, Jane kept the studio running because by then, she'd completely fallen in love with this new way of exercising. Looking back, it's crazy how a broken foot led her straight to the exact thing millions of people would remember her for. If she had just stopped there, she would have just been a famous actress running a local gym on the side. But she didn't, because shortly after, someone approached her with an idea that sounded completely ridiculous. Why not turn the workout into a video?
Stuart Carl kept asking me to turn the workout into a video because I had opened a workout studio, and I said no.
That probably doesn't sound like a big deal now because we can pull up thousands of workout videos on our phones in seconds. But in early 1980s, hardly anyone owned a VCR, so she turned the offer down. She didn't even own a VCR herself. Exercising in front of a TV just didn't seem like something people would do. But Stuart Carl wasn't ready to give up.
So eventually, when Stuart Carl kept coming back and asking me to do a video, I said okay. In 1982, I released the first Jane Fonda workout video.
You gotta give bro credit for being persistent. Most people would have just taken that first no and walked away. But he just kept asking until she finally gave in. Still, even with him getting her on board, nobody thought they were making history.
I remember I wrote the script sitting on a hotel room floor, and we did our own hair and makeup. Never imagined it would become a big deal.
It's so crazy to imagine that you started something small without knowing that this project will be the next big thing. Hopefully, we might do that one day, so subscribe.
I'm very proud that my first video became the #1 video and remains the #1 home video of all time.
It became a global phenomenon. Suddenly, women everywhere were inviting Jane into their living rooms before work, after work, and sometimes while their kids were running around the house.
There were so many reasons that women all over the world wanted to be able to work out in the safety and affordability of their homes.
Before this, if you wanted to exercise, you had to pay for an expensive gym or run around in public where everyone could watch you. Jane changed all that. Now you could just pop a tape into the VCR, do your thing in sweatpants or, I don't know, maybe even pajamas, but who cares? That's your home and nobody is judging you. And honestly, it did not take long for people to start writing to her about how much these tapes were actually changing their lives. Jane always says the letters meant more to her than the sales. One woman told Jane she was brushing her teeth one morning when she noticed muscles in her arms for the first time. She said that tiny moment gave her the confidence to stand up to a boss who had been making her uncomfortable at work. I'm not sure what she meant by noticing muscles and standing up to her boss, but I'm pretty sure that boss got absolutely destroyed in a parking lot. Good for her. I wish I could do that. She even got a letter from a young woman in the Peace Corps who was over in Guatemala during the entire workout routine inside a mud hut. Jane still remembers those stories because to her, these tapes were never just about exercise. They gave women a way to finally feel stronger, more confident, and maybe even believe in themselves a little more. But success has a way of changing how people see things. As Jane's workout tapes spread across the world, it was about the women on the screen and the women watching them. For millions of women, Jane's workout tapes became part of everyday life. They were following someone they trusted. What surprised me was this. She revealed that she had been battling bulimia and anorexia since she was a teenager.
When did you get over the eating disorders?
There was a point in my mid-40s when I realized that that if I continued to be controlled by these addictions, that I was going to, I don't know if I was going to die, but my life would fall apart.
Hearing her say that is actually terrifying. To think she was that close to completely falling apart while the whole world was watching her is insane. We look at those fitness videos and assume she was fine, but she was dealing with something incredibly dangerous. She was basically fighting for her life while trying to teach everyone else how to stay healthy. By the time her first workout video came out, Jane had only recently stepped away from that part of her life.
Best, I was about 46, and hard, brittle core, which is the addiction, was still there.
Man, that is brutal to hear. It means she had managed to stop the physical behavior, but mentally, she was still trapped in the exact same prison. She was basically white-knuckling her way through every single day just to look normal on the outside, while that internal pressure was still waiting to break her. It's a really dark place to be because you don't even get to celebrate stopping. You just feel totally empty. But that's where the workouts actually came into play. Moving her body was the first thing that gave her a piece of real control back. Slowly, it helped her build a normal relationship with food again, until she could finally leave that part of her life behind.
Stopped cold turkey. Oh, it was so hard. It was so hard. Because I was doing the workout before I started the business. Gave me back a sense of control over my body.
I actually believe that's why Jane talked about fitness the way she did. She was talking about something that had genuinely helped her through one of the hardest times in her life.
After 4 years, I started the workout, and I began to heal. Empowerment can begin in the muscles, and it's true.
I really like that line. Empowerment can begin in the muscles. For Jane, moving her body was how she started believing in herself again. But the people watching those tapes at home brought their own struggles into the room. A lot of women put the tape on wanting to feel strong, but at the same time, they just wanted to look exactly like Jane. Both feelings make total sense, but they lead down completely different paths. Jane always said she wanted women to be healthy, and you can tell she really meant it. But the 1980s also pushed the idea that being as thin as possible was all anyone cared about. It was all over fashion, TV, and magazines. That's why those videos could make you want to take better care of yourself, but at the exact same time, make you feel like you would never be good enough. It's probably why people still talk about this today. Two people could do the exact same workout and walk away with opposite experiences. You see the exact same thing if you scroll through TikTok or Instagram now. The clothes and the hairstyles look different, but the pressure to have a perfect body feels exactly the same. More than 40 years later, Jane is still doing what she loves.
I didn't think I'd be alive at almost 86 years old. I mean, I just need to pinch myself all the time that I'm so blessed to be healthy enough to keep working.
I actually smiled when she said that. After everything she's been through, hearing her talk like that just makes me happy for her. Today, Jane is in her late 80s, and she talks about fitness very differently. She still exercises almost every day, but now she focuses on staying strong enough to enjoy life.
Really realized how totally critical it is for people who are older to stay physically active, not maybe doing the same things that younger people can do.
She's joked that she still does the same workouts she always did, just much slower. Instead of running, she enjoys walking. Instead of pushing her body to its limits, she talks about keeping it healthy for the years ahead. I love that. I think a lot of people are afraid of getting older because they think it means giving up on their body. Meanwhile, I already gave up. I'm only in my 20s, overworked, underpaid, and already getting a lot of back pain. Jane is proof that it doesn't have to look that way. You just adapt. But here I am, sitting around feeling like my knees are about to give out if I stand up too fast.
I'm basically a healthy person, and so That's what makes me seem younger than my actual numerical age, is because I'm healthy.
Good posture? What's that? But seriously, I like hearing that because it feels honest. Getting older changes all of us. Jane's answer was just to keep adapting and keep moving so you can keep living the life you want.
I'm just so amazed that at my age, I'm still working and a viable performer, and I still have a lot of energy.
Must be nice, Jane, but I'm not getting paid enough to have that kind of energy. But looking back, she really never expected any of this. To the world, she was just this confident woman leading workouts on TV. What people didn't see was someone who spent years privately battling severe eating disorders just to feel comfortable in her own skin. I definitely wasn't expecting that when I started researching her story, but it makes you respect how hard she worked to get where she is today.
I'm ready for my senior moment.
Joke's on you, Jane. My back beat you to it. But seriously, I love seeing this side of her. She doesn't seem interested in chasing a perfect body anymore. I mean, she already built her legacy, and now she's just grateful to be healthy and still doing what she loves. This is just my take, but what do you think? When you look back at Jane Fonda's fitness empire, do you mostly see a movement that gave women confidence? Or do you think it also added to the pressures so many women already felt? Or maybe, after hearing her full story, you think both can be true? Drop your comments below and share your opinion. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it with someone who likes these kinds of videos. Also, please subscribe. Your boy is incredibly broke right now, so subscribing costs you nothing, but it honestly helps me a lot. If you want to keep up with every upload, hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.